Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel if you are new, or welcome back if you are part of the family and the community. It feels so strange. I feel like I haven't, no, it's true. I haven't actually sat down and recorded in quite some time because it's just been absolutely manic. But before we get into the video, hi, I'm Mand. I cover all things tarot, oracle, card related, spirituality, crystals, and all that kind of, hint of witchy goodness. So if that's your thing and you want to be part of the family, I'd love to have you here. So do hit the subscribe button and do hit the bell as well so you'll be notified. Like and feel free to share if you want to. Absolutely. So getting into the video, this is kind of, I don't know, do you call this like May show and tell, May favorites, May reflections? I'm not sure. But this is about the month of May. And I do have an exciting announcement to make, but that didn't happen in May. That actually happened in June. So not that long ago. So when I'm recording this, I'm hoping this will be up by Friday. But I'm getting married. I'm engaged. I'm like completely shocked. Yeah, Jamie, my partner, proposed to me. Isn't like, honestly, it's stunning. I'm like obsessed. I'm like, I can be randomly sitting there just looking at my ring. But yeah, I'm getting married. Like, shocked, but yeah, super exciting news to be able to share with you. Yeah, he proposed on the 2nd of June. It was really romantic. And random at the same time. It wasn't expected. So yeah, I've been caught up in that, hence why, I've been kind of quiet here. I've been quiet on social media anyway. The weather has been amazing here in Ireland as well, so as you can see, I kind of have a tan. You can see where I've worn the sunglasses, but you know what, it is what it is. It's fine. I've been enjoying the weather, so it's hard to motivate myself to sit down and record some videos. So I have some decks I want to cover. I just forgot I have books that I wanted to share as well, so I must go grab those, and some crystals. I didn't buy any new decks. I bought some new crystals, alright, but I only have one in front of me, that's fine. And yeah, so this video might be a little bit all over the place. I'm literally just caught up in everything. I am still in that whole like, I'm engaged, I'm getting married. I'm like, what? Like, it's amazing. It's so, I don't know how to describe the feeling. But yeah, I'm just so super excited that I can share that now with you guys, because it's been busy, and I know you guys understand that and things like that. But I do realize that I've been kind of slacking on my videos. I've been kind of feeling overwhelmed, and just I feel like there's like a lot happening right now, so it's just a matter of trying to sit down and plan things a little bit better and make time, because I'm kind of working on some new projects as well that I want to bring to my Instagram. So they're products that I'm wanting to sell. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's mystic_mand93. You'll find it in the description box anyway. But I'm gonna go grab the books, and we will talk about crystals, the books, and then we will get into the decks and the pairings. But I'll flip you guys around for that, because trying to hold it and show you as much as I'd love to, show the ring all the time. I also know that you guys would love to see the pairings and things like that. So sorry if there's background noise. It is busy, here in Ireland. We don't get heat waves that often, so when the sun comes out, or we don't really see the sun often either, but when it does and the weather is amazing like that, everybody's out. My dad is out going washing cars and all that stuff. So let's get into the topics at hand. I'm going to get into the books first. I thought I had 3, but I only have 2, and the crystals, and then decks, because we all know decks are really kind of the main focus here. But I have bought a few books. I haven't been too bad with my spending. I'm trying to curb it a little bit. I did buy crystals, alright, and deck wise, I haven't bought any new decks. Since Book Depository is gone, I'm finding it quite hard to keep track of the decks that I've been wanting to get and what decks were coming out in pre-orders. And there is one I want to get, is the Witch's Garden, Tower of the Witch's Garden. But that's not out till July for those of us in Ireland and the UK, I think. And there's a few more oracle decks as well. I was looking at the Law of Positivism, I don't know how to pronounce it, Tivism or something like that. But I'm not sure if that's kind of my thing, because it really is along the lines of, it reminds me a bit of Rebecca Campbell's Starseed, and I'm currently working with that deck at the moment, but that'll be in June's video. So the books, right? Let's stop rambling. I'm rambling. I'm in a chatty-ish mood, so we're gonna try and keep this under a reasonable amount of time. So the first one, I can't remember which one I read first. I think it was this one. It's Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. I wouldn't say I was a huge Colleen Hoover fan. I read Verity and I just looked up or was it, I don't know how I found it, but basically books that were along the lines of Verity, because that book, you all know it, messed me up. Like, I'm like, can't. This book is basically about Charlie Winwood and Silas Nash have been best friends since they could walk. They've been in love since the age of 14, but as of this morning, they are complete strangers. So it basically comes down to them losing their memory and then trying to remember who they are and the people around them and things like that. It's kind of set in this whole high school scene, and it's this kind of huge mystery that's going on. I feel there are a few loose ends that they could have tied up, but you know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might want to read it. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a page turner for me, because I was like, what's going on? What's happening? It's good. If you want just this quick pace to flip through, would I reread it again? Probably not, because to be honest, I'm not. Like, Verity was just far better. I suppose I'm holding it at that standard and I shouldn't. So that is Never Never. And then the next one is The Hungry Road by Marita Conlon McKenna, and this is based on the Irish famine, the Great Famine, and this is in one sense like a devastating read. By the way, I got this actually in a secondhand bookshop. It's literally called thebookshop.ie, so if you are anywhere in the world, you can buy from them. You can get secondhand books. They're in great quality. I mean, hello Misty. Sorry, you can hear the window open small bit. This is devastating. This follows a seamstress, Mary Sullivan, and a doctor and also a priest, and it kind of tells from their point of view and things like that, and how each one of them would have experienced the famine differently, and how they all in their own way helped within the community and things like that, and just how devastating the famine was for the Irish people. And this is based in Skibbereen, which was great because we actually went to Skibbereen there last weekend and we did the Great Famine experience. They have a lovely heritage centre there, so I would highly recommend it if you are in Cork to go experience that. It's really sad. It's very heavy stuff. It's heartbreaking what the Irish people went through, so I won't like get into that, but I would highly recommend reading this if you want kind of a fictional telling of the Great Famine. It kind of does get you into what it was like, what it felt like, you know. It's heartbreaking, it's devastating, it's not an easy read, but it is and it isn't. Like, it is heartbreaking, the information that's in it, but you know, you're able to move through it. She also wrote I don't know why it's a kid's book, but it's Under the Hawthorn Tree. It's a trilogy. That is devastating. I read that as a kid. That is absolutely brutal. So I don't know why that's for kids, but they are the two books. Misty is every which way. I'm going to talk about crystals now, and I have 3 crystals that I worked with, that I wrote down anyway. I know I worked with more. So for those of you that don't know, I absolutely love crystals. I have like shit ton of them, and will I ever stop collecting them? Probably not. I absolutely adore them. So actually, let me share the one that I bought first, and it is called Unicorn Crystal. I'd never heard of this. This is so sparkly, so pretty. Like, it's not even picking up the sparkle, kind of. So this is Lepidolite Pink Tourmaline And I feel like there's something else, and I feel like there's 3 crystals within it. I want to say smoky quartz for some reason, but I don't think that's right. But anyway, it definitely has lepidolite and pink tourmaline. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure of its properties, but the glittery aspects are the mica from the lepidolite. It is so pretty. It's so sparkly, and I'm so excited to work with it. It's actually pretty decent size. So I picked that up, and I know I picked up a few more bits, but I want to talk about some of the crystals that I worked with. So the first one I seemed to reach for a lot was mookaite. And mookaite kind of comes in different colors. Mine is kind of like a coffee color, brown, different kind of browns and really deep reds, but you can get it in kind of like a mustard yellow, red, that kind of, I know I have a tumblestone somewhere, I'm not really sure where, but I found this to be amazing for grounding and centering my energy. I felt very scattered in me, very all over the place. Things weren't always kind of going the way that I had planned. It's not even that I wanted, it's just how I had planned it in my head. So mookaite was amazing for keeping me grounded and present in the moment, especially when I was doing my morning routine. The other one that I loved working with is rainbow moonstone. And did you know rainbow moonstone is a sister crystal to labradorite, or labradorite as some people call it, whichever takes your fancy. And there should be a blue flash there somewhere. I think there's one there at the bottom. This is such a hard one to show the flash, but there are beautiful blue flashes. I was going to say flashes. Flashes in this. And I love moonstone for divine feminine energy, connecting in with that goddess energy, that intuitive side, that gentle, nurturing, creative. This is amazing for bringing me back into that softer, going with the flow, not so much being caught up in the go, trying to get things done. This was great. And also I want to state as well, for even when you're on your period and things like that, I love carrying, I have small little tumbles of moonstone, different, there's different not variations, but different moonstones. So you have, black moonstone, rainbow moonstone, peach moonstone, the list goes on. But I love using rainbow moonstone because it is like a sister crystal to labradorite, which is great for your intuition. So it's like that extra heightenedness. It's not even a word, probably not. So I loved working with that. And then the last one, this is one of my absolute pride and joys. Sorry, one, because my other one here is my big amethyst sphere, and I love my sphere. This is berry. And this is a strawberry quartz. I'm pretty sure I showed her here before. She has so many sparkles. I have so many variations or different crystals of strawberry quartz. Is one of my favorite. I have a Jack skeleton one here as well that I'm actually looking at. You probably can't see the face because, hello, stop focusing on me. I'm not the star here. This is. But I have loads of different pieces of strawberry quartz. But I loved working with this because it's so great for your heart center and compassion and love. And I just wanted to bring that more in because it was so hard on myself. Sorry, my cat is scratching at the door. And I just wanted to work with that more. So this is great. It has so many flashes. I love this crystal. Even just sitting there, even if you're just watching TV and just having it in your hand. But she stays upstairs with the rest of my skulls. So I had a load of them. I don't. I have a few. So that is berry. So cute. I love it. It's amazing for creativity. Definitely I would use it for the heart. So anything to do with self-love, self-care, compassion, all that. That's what I would use for that one. So I've talked enough on the crystals. Let's get into the decks, and I'll try not to take too long with that. So the first pairing that I worked with was the Green Witch Tarot, of course, and the Solitary Witch Oracle. I will link everything below. I've done a walkthrough of the Solitary Witch, so what I'm going to do is just I believe I've seen this in Don Michelle's, and it is a fab way of doing this. But these two together, oh my gosh, like the artwork in itself really does complement each other. But that's not why technically you should pair decks together. I really do get the sense of it gives such a deep meaning to my readings. I definitely felt this was a far more earthy. Like, look at the way these match. I mean, they're all facing the same direction. You know, sorry about that. I could feel a sneeze. So, but like I was saying, there's such an earthy feel to this. There's like a depth. They complement each other. It's the only way you can describe it. It's like, do you know the way some decks just click together and you know they're supposed to be in the same family? They just make sense. All right. And that's the only way I can describe it. Like, if you want that family homey feel in a deck, I feel these two together is like my family deck. This is exactly what I wanted to feel like. This is so nurturing, so caring. It's like you're having a hard day, I got you. That's the way I feel about with this deck. It's like I can give you the hard messages, but I'm still gonna love you like unconditionally. Not that any of my decks don't, but I do feel this is the deck that's kind of like really soul deep is the only way I could really, really, truly find the words. It's like it gets me. We just, if I only had to choose a tarot and an oracle deck, I probably, as of right now, would choose these ones. These are just, the guidebook is not bad with the Solitary Witch. Of course, you know I love the guidebook with the Green Witch. It is so informational. There's so much to it. I mean, I really do need to do a proper like deep dive, but just the artwork, the messages, it's like these two decks were meant to be together. There's just such a that witchy feel, that witchy aesthetic. If that's what you want, this would be the pairing I would suggest anyway. I absolutely adore it. There's something so comforting. I'm trying to work with other decks in my collection, and I'm really feeling drawn to go, oh, I really want to work with this one again. I really want to work with these, but I do have to rotate my collection, so that no other deck goes neglected. So this is the first pair that I worked with. So these two are going to be a very unusual pairing. This is the Grimalkin's Cat Tarot, Curious Cats Tarot, and the Herbal Astrology Oracle. Now, these backs are some of my favorite backs of cards. Now, it's been a while since I've worked with these, so I can't remember. I'm hoping if I do them side by side, I will remember better. It's kind of an unusual pairing for sure, but then looking at this, there are some animals in this. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I see why I paired with this. I wanted something kind of just that bit different. Now, while the artwork does not work together, it really doesn't, to be brutally honest. Like, it's so not what you would pick for a tarot and an oracle. These actually went quite well. I love MJ's, what's the word I'm looking for, guidebook. I find her guidebooks really, really good. There's like a lot of information in them, or just enough. I'm just looking here. Yeah, it's an a very unusual pairing. I probably, if you told me I would be pairing these two, I'd be like, no, I don't think so, because aesthetically pleasing, they don't really go. Oh, by card. They don't go. But when you kind of look at the messages, and that's what I found, this really, like this deck, because I'm very new to astrology, I wouldn't say I'd have a whole load of information or knowledge on it. This is a great way of learning, and like you've Nine of Cups, Dream, and the Fool. So it's an interesting combination. It definitely is very insightful. That's the way I would put it. I would put these two as very, very insightful, because I see cats as that's so sad with the Ten of Swords. Let me move that. And the death. And then shape-shifting. Do you see what I mean with these two? It's very, very deep. It's very hard cutting. But again, it's not like devastate. You know what I mean? Do you know the way some decks can be so like mean? I'm really calling you out. This does call you out, but it's a super, super, like, for me anyway, it's very insightful, it's very deep, it's very knowledgeable, is the only way I could say it. So you can, this is why I do these in one sense, is that you can see why I would pair these. And I love using mass market decks because, one, everybody can get them then, and everybody can work with them if they feel called to do so. So sometimes the messages will be bang on and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And then other times you're kind of scratching your head and you're going to have to come back to it. But yeah, that is the Grimalkin and the herbal astrology. I really enjoyed, now that I'm looking at it, now I remembered, I did actually enjoy working with this. I would have liked to have worked with it more, but I just wanted to rotate. So moving forward, I do feel I'm going to work with decks that I feel drawn to working with for longer periods of time. I want to, you know, work with a tarot deck for a month instead of just constantly rotating and changing, because I feel like I'm not getting to know them that great. And it's why I'm kind of trying to remind myself that I don't need to buy every new deck that's coming out. While I love reviewing them here, I do. One, it's costly, and two, sometimes we don't get to use the decks that we bring into our collection. You know, you might just kind of flip through it and then forget about it. So I don't want to do that. I want to be more mindful. Now, in saying that, I could turn around and buy some decks. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just trying to be more mindful in my choices. So let's move on to the next one. Next pairing is the Light Series Tarot with the Rose Oracle. Now this is a really interesting one actually. I really enjoyed working with this pairing. As you can see, my Light Series is very loved. I love this deck. It was one of my kind of first-ish. It wouldn't be my very first tarot deck, but it was definitely a tarot deck I loved the most. I think it was like my second or third tarot deck that I had in my collection. I was more collecting oracle cards at the time, and then I ventured out into tarot, and yeah, that was that was interesting. This was an interesting choice, and when I made this choice, I wasn't 100% sure why I chose these. I normally don't when I start pairing them. Sometimes I do, sorry. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I actually have no idea why. Because they're quite different, right? This is very modern. This is very the now, really. Whereas this feels more kind of ancient and knowledgeable and celestial, even, if you want to put it like that. But what I did find is this. I find the Light Series, to me anyway, feels like very feminine, very divine, female. It's very intuitive, is what I love about it. And that's how I read oracle cards most of the time. Unless it's kind of a more challenging deck, then yeah, I use the guidebook. But for the most part, I very much rely on my own intuition and what I'm picking up and things like that. And I found, I'm so sorry, that's my stomach. I need to get some lunch. But I found this to be very deep, very core cutting nearly. It really got in under my skin and really piqued my intuition. I truly tried to sit down with the images to see and to feel what was coming up for me. What was I feeling? What was resonating in my soul? What is it that I truly needed to know and to understand for myself? And I really believe that, like, what's the other one? Oh my gosh, Work Your Light Oracle and the Rose Oracle are two of my favourite. I'm actually looking forward to the Healing Waters one. I definitely think I'm going to pick that one up. I really, really like the look of that one. But the Starseed is the only oracle deck that I'm not 100% sure, and I find it interesting because I'm actually pairing her Starseed oracle with the Muse Tarot from Chrisanne. So I do feel like Rebecca Campbell and Chrisanne's decks seem to work very beautifully together. So maybe I need to get the Curious, see, here we go, the Curious Creatures to work with the Starseed. But you know, I really feel like the Work Your Light could work with this as well. I'm curious as to like what decks do you use, if you use any of these decks, like how would you pair them? I really find these two interesting, and of course I love the Light Seers, I love the artwork, I love the messages, I love the way she's written the guidebook, and like I said, this came up quite a bit as well. I love the grandmother's card. It reminds me of my own grandmother and great grandmother and things like that. So this is an interesting pairing. I'd love to show you all the cards together because it's just so magical and celestial and just feels very like connecting with the moon and just that femaleness, kind of, you know, that feminine, that's it, the feminine side of things, that very intuitive, witchy, free-spirited energy is what I'm getting here. So I have one more pairing and I promise you that is it. I'm done talking them for you. The last pairing that I worked with is the Lunasol Tarot and, oh my gosh, The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. So these were interesting because if you remember correctly, I had put this in a video with decks that I wished I worked with more. And when I was looking through it, this deck is just, it's gorgeous. I do love the artwork. It's so cute, and it just, for me, I felt like to pair it with the Wisdom of the Oracle just kind of made sense. Would I say it's my favorite pairing out of the lot that I shown today? No, not really. It's not a particular pairing I probably am going to go for again. But I did like the messages. I did enjoy it. I actually prefer the tarot over, like, I love this oracle deck and I love this tarot. Together, probably not. But that was just something that I wanted to try. And that's the whole point of these kind of making these videos and all that, is to show you. See, does it work for you? Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. So I just felt like these kind of only just kind of scratched the surface together. I didn't feel there was great in-depth. But then in saying that, maybe that's what I needed for that week. Just kind of straightforward to the point messages, which is really nice too. Sometimes I don't want to do huge in-depth readings every morning. Sometimes I just want, this is what you need to keep an eye out on. This is what you should be aware of. And this is what's kind of coming your way. Could potentially come your way is the only way I could say it. So I'll show a few more of these and then I will end the video because I feel like I've talked forever with you guys, and I'm sure if you made it this far, I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking around and hearing me talk. It's been a while. It really has been a while, and I will hopefully try and get better, but you know, life happens and that's all right. So I like that, right? The Tower, Tree of Swords, and here and now. Like, no matter what's going on around you, here and now is so important. You're not your past. You're not your future. You are here and now. Do you see what I mean? So it's like straightforward to the point. There's no real elaborating. There's no real, I don't want to say depth, because there is. There's definitely depth there. It's just, for me, it was like straight to the point. Let's go. You got it. Oh, interesting how I skipped that one. Anyway, so yeah. On that note, you guys, I am going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much if you've made it to the end of the video. I really, truly appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world. And yes, of course, I had to give. And I will chat to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.